and how are you feeling today? It's another beautiful sunset today in Cape Town City. So I just thought it just to quickly, hop on here and I want to ask you, what is stopping you from living your ideal life? What is stopping you from living your ideal life? So I want to ask you, what is your ideal life? So if the answer could only be yes, if you could only get an yes, what would your ideal life be? So to give you an example, my ideal life was always just to live close to the ocean and to be able to enjoy the sunsets with my family, right? And also to have the freedom to do what I want to do, whenever I want to do it, however I want to do it. You see, and most importantly, just to cherish the beautiful moments with my family, with my son and my wife. So my ideal life, if you had to sum it up, is freedom and joy, or how we call it, bliss. So now check it out. What is your ideal life? So if the answer could only be yes, what is that? I want you to comment now and tell me, what is your ideal life? Remember, the answer can only be yes. So what is your ideal life? The answer can only be yes. So if you could have your ideal relationship, what would that be? Your ideal partner, what would that be? Your ideal home, what would that be? Your ideal car, like overall your ideal life, what would that be? Like I said, mine is freedom and joy, because of how I grew up. I used to experience the exact opposite of freedom and joy. I remember just going through anxiety and depression, and I was told to get on medication and to go for some help because of the anxiety. Otherwise, it's going to get too. Otherwise, it will get to a point where I can't control it. But then I remember I Googled how to cure anxiety naturally. And the one thing that came up was like a mindfulness website, and they recommended gratitude. And I started a gratitude journal every morning, every evening, and the second week, I felt so different. I felt like so grounded, so centered. And I was like, how can such a simple thing as gratitude be so powerful? And guess what? I've taken that gratitude habit with me ever since. I've been practicing gratitude for now, let me see, just under 10 years. And when I met my wife, I told her that, listen here, are you interested in practicing gratitude with me? And I shared with her how I do it. So in the mornings, when I wake up, I express my gratitude for what I have, what's around me, and my future desires, right? And in the evening, just before I go to bed, I also express my gratitude for what happened throughout the day, what I have, and my desires. And ever since, my wife and I have been doing it every single day. We haven't missed a day. So now I'm asking you, what do you think is stopping you from living your ideal life? I know the one thing that stopped me was procrastination. I knew exactly what I was supposed to do, but I did not do it. I knew exactly what I was supposed to do because the law of assumption is so simple to manifest your desires. It's so simple. So the law of assumption is the idea that you can use your mind, your thoughts and your feelings to create your reality. So in other words, if you have a desire right now and you apply the law of assumption, all that is required from you is just to accept, or assume rather, to assume that you already have it now. So for example, let's just say your desire is to manifest your ideal relationship, right? Let's just say you're single now. You're single and your desire is to manifest your ideal relationship. Now, in order for you to use the law of assumption, you have to assume that you are already in your ideal relationship, even though you're single. But you see, the relationship is in your mind, it's in your imagination. Now, your imagination is the real world. It's the real reality. Now, this reality that you're perceiving right now is only a reflection of your mind. So this reality is not real. It's like a mirror. You know that a mirror is not real, right? So you will not give your power away to the mirror. So in other words, if I go to the mirror and I have a bad hair day, right? My hair is like, oh, all over the show, right? I know that I am not going to blame the mirror. I know I need to first fix my hair, and then when I go back to the mirror then show me the change. Now that's exactly how it is with your life. So you look at your life right now. You say that, you know what, Gabriel? I'm actually struggling, and I don't know what is stopping me, but I've tried everything and nothing seems to be working. I don't know what's wrong. The first thing I'll tell you is that there's no one to change but yourself. Now, how does that work? How do you change yourself? You see, you change your mindset. And your mindset is your self-concept. Now, what is your self-concept? It's how you see yourself. Now, you have to ask yourself right now, how do you see yourself? Do you see yourself as a master at manifesting? Do you see yourself as already having your desires? Do you see yourself as struggling? Do you see yourself as waiting? Are you waiting for your manifestations? Are you waiting for the sign? Are you waiting for a bridge of event? Now, let me tell you something. Waiting is basically a representation of lack, because when you wait, you are telling yourself that you do not have it. So waiting is lacking. Now, you don't want to be waiting. You want to be having. You want to be in a state of already having, right? So your self-concept is basically how you view yourself. So if you view yourself as a master at manifesting, you know that any desire that you have, you already have it. So let's just say you say, you know what? I am manifesting $5,000. You know that the $5,000 is already in your bank account, even though it's not showing in your bank account as yet. But you know how manifestation works. Manifestation works with the real world. Now, the real world is your imagination, it's your mind. So if you accept that you have it in your mind right now, guess what? It is done. You are already in Barbados and you're in first class. Now check this out. When you accept it and you do not waver, you do not contradict yourself, you're not wishy-washy, you're not in and out. When you accept it, the 3D automatically changes. You don't even have to worry about trying to change your outside world. No, your outside world is like your mirror. Your mirror always showing you what's inside of you. So if you accept the change right now inside of you, your 3D then reflects that change automatically, you see. Now, that is the beautiful thing about the law of assumption. So you have to ask yourself, what is stopping you from living your ideal life? For me, it was procrastination. And when I went deeper and deeper and deeper, I realized that I actually did not feel worthy of my desires. I was like, yeah, it can happen for other people, but not for me. So I had to remind myself and just say, you know what, Gabriel? You are one with Source. As a matter of fact, you are Source. So that automatically qualifies you to be worthy and deserving. It's like you are related to, let's just say, the king and the queen. I'm not talking about the king and the queen from England. Let's just say I'm talking about any king and any queen. Now, you know that automatically you are royalty. So everything will be given to you with ease. You know that you are already on a pedestal. You know that every doors are already open for you. You know that because you're royalty. Now guess what? You are more than royalty because you are one with Source. But if you do not accept that and you do not recognize that, then you are constantly going to basically see yourself as less than, you know? Because it's very important for you to understand that you are not just this physical body. The physical body is for us to experience this 3D reality. But you see the power that is animating the physical body, that is you. Now that power, you can call it awareness, consciousness, God, universe, whatever you want to call it. That power is infinite and it's limitless. So that's really who you are. But it's like, if I had to prove to you that that's who you are, would you spend minimum 5 minutes with that power, with yourself? Would you do that? Guess what? When you spend time with that power, just to acknowledge it and just to feel into it, you automatically become limitless, unlimited. You know that you can have anything. You know that you don't even need no one's validation. You don't need anyone's approval, because you know that whatever you need is already within. And your job is just to accept it. And once you've accepted it, you just live from that place of acceptance. For example, when you book your dream vacation, and your dream vacation is like 3 months away, you are already excited. You telling your family members, your friends, and you're just in such a state of gratitude because you know that that vacation is going to be the freaking best, even though you did not experience it yet. But you're already living in that place. You're already living from that place. You're like, wow, man. And you're just picturing yourself, watching sunsets, walking on the beach, drinking a pina colada, like you imagining yourself already experiencing your dream vacation. You see, now it's very, very similar to your desires. When you accept that you already have your desire, you now live from that place. So in other words, you say, you know what? Okay, I'm single now. I'm now going to accept that I am in my ideal relationship. Now you live from that place of already being in a relationship. Even though the 3D tells you that you're single, you're still living from that place. From the person who is now in their ideal relationship. Let me give you an example, like with me. So when I manifested my wife, Kylie, I was single and I did not have good experiences with relationship, right? So I used to be emotionally unavailable. I could never experience what it is to love. I don't know, people talked about love, love, love. For me, love was dead. I didn't feel it. I didn't experience it, even though I said it, but I never had an experience. So I said, you know what? My next relationship, I want it to be the exact opposite. And I asked myself, what is that? And I came to the conclusion that it's bliss. So I said, you know what? I want to have a blissful marriage. Now, while I was single, I accepted that I am now the blissfully married man. I accepted that I was now a blissful husband. Now, what that implies is that I have a blissful marriage and my wife is also blissful, you see? So I accepted that I am now the blissfully married man. And I stayed faithful to that acceptance, to that story for 3.5 months. After 3.5 months, boom, I bumped into my wife. I knew exactly that was my wife because I made a list. I made a list. I made a list of what I wanted in a woman. And so when I bumped into her, I knew that she was my wife. I even told her on our second date that you are my wife. And she's like, what? This guy is crazy. But I knew because I lived in that space, from that place, in that assumption for 3.5 months. I already felt like I was married, even though the 3D told me that I was single. But in my mind, in the real world, imagination, consciousness, I was already married. Now you see, your mind, your imagination is the real world. The world that you're perceiving right now is only a reflection. It's not real. It's like a mirror. So the last thing you want to do is trust in the 3D. The 3D is only a shadow. You want to surrender to your imagination, to consciousness, to your mind. So if you say that you have it right now in your imagination, it is done. No one can take it away from you. No one can convince you otherwise, because you know that consciousness is the only reality. That's right. Consciousness is the only core substance of reality. What is consciousness? It's awareness. What is awareness? It's your attention. You have to ask yourself, who are you paying attention to right now? Where are you placing your attention? Are you placing your attention in the 3D? Or are you placing your attention in your imagination? Now, your imagination is the only redemption. It's your only salvation. If you want to be free right now, you want to surrender to your imagination. So now I'm asking you again, what do you think is stopping you from living your ideal life? For me, it was procrastination. It was not being worthy. But when I understood that, hey man, I am actually one with God. I am one with Source. Why do I feel worthless? Why is it that I feel worthless? Why do I procrastinate if I know that I'm already on the winning team? And when I asked myself all these questions, I came to realize that it was all a lie. I came to realize that it was all a lie with my real eye, which is my imagination. You see? So that is my message for you. And here's the thing. The beautiful thing about the law of assumption, it always works. The only thing that is required from you is to remain faithful, to persist. But a lot of people give up too soon, too quick, and they wavering, they in and out, and they wishy-washy. You just have to remain faithful. Now, if you need help with manifesting your ideal partner, your ideal relationship, we have a course, right, in the description below. If you need help to manifest money, we have a lot of meditations and even courses as well in description below. Now, when you do purchase any of our meditations or courses, what I want to tell you is that do exactly what we tell you there and remain faithful. You want to do it every single day. It's not just you don't just do it once and then forget about it. That's not how it works. Remember, it's a mindset thing. You have to be disciplined. You have to be committed. You have to persist, because you have to understand the thoughts that you had today, 90% of those thoughts were exactly the same like the thoughts of yesterday and last week and last month. Now, the moment you accept your new goal or idea or self-concept, you have to understand that your brain and your body is not going to allow you to change like that. It's going to be a little bit of a challenge, because your body and your brain is going to say that, no, we've been living like this, the old self-concept, for years. What makes you think that you can now come and just change how we've been living? We've been living this way for years and years and years. And the brain and the body loves comfort and it loves safety. It's not going to allow you just to change and to go to the unknown. No. It is going to be challenging, I can tell you now. But all you need to do is just persist, remain commitment and discipline, especially if it feels hard. You see, when it feels the hardest, that's when it matters the most. Joe Dispenza. When it feels the hardest, that's when it matters the most. That's when you're going to have your breakthrough. But unfortunately, a lot of people, including myself in the past, you do the work, but then you get to day 4, day 5, something happens, and then boom, you give up and you go back to your old self. And you say, this stuff doesn't work. But no, it does. I mean, if it doesn't work, I wouldn't be here sharing my story with you. It does work, but it requires discipline, commitment, persistence. You don't want to give up. Now, you've done a lot of things in your life, a lot of great things in your life. Think about all the great things that you've done in your life. You know that required commitment, discipline, and determination. Now, it's no difference to manifesting your desires. A lot of people think manifestation and the law of assumption is child's play. No, it requires discipline, commitment, and determination. Now, if you need help with accountability, click on the link in the description. We can help you. Having said that, I believe in you. If you don't believe in yourself, I know you got this. Keep smiling, enjoy your blissful day, and I'll catch you in the next one.